In this video, I'm going to be walking you through how to pause underperforming keywords in your Google Ad account. I'm going to be showing you the manual way of doing this, but just know that this entire process can be automated using automated rules like we talk about in our Google Ads courses. But I do believe it's important to do this manually first so you can have a really good understanding of the process and then automate it afterwards. So step one is go into your Google Ad account and navigate to the search keywords tab. And from here, the first thing we want to do is we want to kind of clean out the noise. Depending on the size of your account, you could have a lot of keywords. Like, for example, in this account, there's 3,553 keywords. So we definitely want to reduce the noise here. So first things first is set a filter of keyword status enabled, so you only see active keywords. Then I also recommend that you add a filter of conversions less than 1. We really want to be operating here and looking at keywords that are just bleeding money, the ones that haven't driven anything at all that we want to consider pausing. Another filter you could potentially add is around cost. So if you do still have a lot of active keywords after these two filters, you can set some sort of spend threshold where, spend more than $100 or $1,000, whatever that is for you, and that'll clean this up even more. So once you've applied your filters, it's going to clean up your keyword report. And now go ahead and just sort by cost. So you can see from the start which keywords are the most impactful and probably the most eligible to be paused. So I can see here for this keyword that we've spent $4,000 in this account that I'm using, and we haven't generated any sales qualified leads or any conversions at all for that matter. So this is a prime candidate for pausing of this keyword if I believe this keyword will not perform. Now, a couple things to consider before you pause that keyword. Number one is, was the keyword set up properly, right? Do you have the right match type? Because it could be that the keyword is just not set up right, and because of that, it's not performing. You're not actually showing up with the right search terms. So assuming you have the right match type, then the next thing you want to ask yourself is, how relevant is this keyword for your business? If it's, kind of a stretch, you need additional volume and you kind of went a little bit outside of your comfort zone, then you can probably make the case that it's not a relevant keyword and you can validate that with your search terms report. But in addition to that, you want to ask yourself, is it worth spending this money? So if I spend $4,000 on this keyword, is it relevant enough for my business where, hey, you know what, I still think there's value in it and I'll just chalk that up to awareness? So if the answer is no, after going through those two things, I guess the final question to ask yourself here is, does the offer match the intent of the keyword? So for example, if I'm building on, let's say sales enablement platform, am I driving people to a landing page that allows them to explore sales enablement platforms, right, and get a demo? So just make sure that the intent is reflective of the offer, because that's another opportunity for you to not give this keyword a fair shot. So assuming you've answered yes to all three things, it is set up properly, it is worth it to your business, and third, it is matching the intent, but it still hasn't performed, well, then in that case, it's fair to say that it's time to pause this keyword. And you would just go ahead and click on that keyword, edit, pause, and away you go. I recommend as you go through this process that you just skim through the report and then you start to select multiple keywords together so you can just pause them all at once. It just little things like that save time. And what I recommend as well is that you set some sort of condition for yourself on how you make this decision making, because this is also going to prime you for automation in the future. So what are your non-performer thresholds? So how much are you willing to allow this keyword to spend before you pause it? So for example, maybe I'm going to let keywords spend up to 2x my allowable target before pausing it. So I'm going to allow, if I want leads for $100, I'm going to let this keyword spend $200, $300 max, and then I'm going to turn it off depending on its performance. So that allows you to just kind of create some sort of logic around your pausing and not just like emotional reaction, because it's easy to just kind of freak out and pause things too prematurely. So just kind of having some guardrails set for yourself, even if it's not based on any statistical significance, is nice to just kind of keep your emotions in check. And that's it. It's a pretty straightforward process, but this is what you would do. And you would just do this on a frequent basis to make sure that you are not bleeding any money. And then when you are ready to take it to the next level, you would just automate this with rules. So now it's just streamlined for you. So it's very pragmatic. Once it meets that threshold, it doesn't perform based on your criteria, it gets shut off, and you move on to the next one.